All right, what's up, guys and gals? Chris with the BODDAMN versus the Strella channel, and welcome to the live Q&A. I should be here for about 20-30 minutes, and if you have a fitness-based question that you would like me to share my thoughts on, I would do it for you. All right, so I asked on Instagram, an open kind of Q&A on a post and through the story, and so today I'm going to answer those questions first. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video if you can, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell next to the subscribe button so you can get to this kind of live thing whenever I do it, because I might just do them randomly, right? And so I've been known to do that with my other channel. So, okay, so let's go through the first questions that came off of the Instagram story. And again, welcome to the show. So, okay. Hopefully you can hear me. That's another thing. Let's just make sure you guys can hear me as well. I know I just came out of the shower. Hair is like wet. But let me know if you can hear me. I have this little blue snowball mic thing, and I'm running a C920 webcam. So can you hear me? Let me know. I think you guys can. I'll go with the first question. And that is from Unified University. Best workouts to do at home for legs. All right, so if you're going to do a home leg workout, I assume that you're trying to build up your legs or maybe trying to lose weight on your legs, because it's two totally different workouts. Now, assuming you're trying to just get a really good leg workout and you want to tone up your legs and build muscle in your legs, I would stick to maybe 4 movements. Okay, maybe 6. Definitely the squat, definitely a deadlift, and then a Romanian deadlift, also a front squat, and a bazillion lunges. I think those exercises are just like the best ones that you can do for home. So those again are squat, deadlift, Romanian deadlift, front squat, and a bunch of lunges. You can also do reverse lunges, Cossack lunges, I think. There's so many different variations of lunges, but they're really, really good. So if you're going to do a home leg workout, maybe try to get a power rack or a set of dumbbells, but a power rack, you can do barbell, movements with it and stuff like that. I always try to do it on my legs at the gym anytime I can. So, all right. So let's talk about the next question from Gentleman562. Hey, Chris, how often do you do cardio besides biking, etc.? Okay, so biking, whenever I ride, it's minimum like 45 minutes. It can be maximum like 2 hours. It just kind of depends. I ride probably when the weather's good 4, if not 5 times a week. So it's plenty good right there. If I don't ride at the trails, I'll probably ride in the neighborhood. And if I don't do that, what else do I do? I can do skateboarding, longboard skateboarding, which is basically cardio. There's just a lot of things that I can do for cardio. So how often do I actually do cardio? Like as much as I can, as much as earthly possible, If I could get 7 days of cardio in a week, then I will do 7 days of cardio a week. But that is not the workout. My workouts are typically 4 days a week right now. And cardio is just something that I do. In fact, that's the real reason I'm in the gym, is so I can sustain my, active-based lifestyle. So I don't fold in half and like crack everything and break everything. I need to have, strong muscles and ligaments and all that kind of stuff. So the strength training in the gym is what allows me to do some of this other really cool stuff that I love to do. And to some people, that could be the cardio. To me, it's just the best thing possible. And I call it finding the Strella, right? So, I try every day to find the Strella as much as possible. And that's just what I've been living, with a considerable amount of my life. It's like chasing the Strella. That's just what I love to do. I'm going to go into the live feed. If you're watching this live, there is a feed to the side. I can see it. For you, it might be to the left, right. I don't know. But I can see a feed. And the first one's from Bluegrass Picker. What are some of the most important nutrients that are a must for you? Okay, so let's just talk about really, if you're going to do leafy greens and fruits and all that kind of stuff, you can find so many essential vitamins and nutrients through those kind of things. So leafy greens, sweet potatoes, fruits, things like that, avocados. I mean, just plenty of stuff. I mean, avocado has more potassium than a banana, for example. So avocados are real good. I love all fruits, all leafy greens. And then if you really want to supercharge the whole thing, try to find it at a farmer's market or find it organic. And now you're really, doing the best that you can for your body. Now, if the question is, what are some of the most important nutrients that are a must for you? And then they're referring to supplements. that's a different story. So like when I come home from my 4 days of working out, just on those 4 days, pretty much, I build a smoothie for rapid absorption after a workout. And in that smoothie, the supplements that I'm using right now are kelp / iodine. I use B12. I use a multivitamin. I use omega-3 fish oils, a niacin supplement. What else do I use? And niacin supplement, and then I do take a Zyrtec every day just because I don't want to, deal with these Austin allergies. So I put all that. On the days that I don't work out, I will still have the multivitamin for the most part, and then the B12 thing. So that's what I use when I do supplements, right? I'm not on creatine, glutamine. I'm on BCAAs for right now, but no creatine, no glutamine, none of that kind of stuff. No, what's the other one that I used to take that got me real big? L-arginine, there's one right there, but I don't do that anymore. So, or I do it in cycles here and there. Tiffany Redmond, you're so sexy. Thank you. Subscribe. Hey, I'll take it. There's a funny question coming up, by the way. Okay, so here's one from Tyrone Jenkins. What can you eat when you are burning fat? And I thought about the answer to this question like pretty much all day today. And the answers, half of the answers I'm going to give tonight are probably not the answers you want to hear, but they're the absolute truth. And, I feel as if as I build my products and as I build my business out, the most important thing I can do for you guys is to tell you guys the truth on really how it needs to be done. And not to sell you so much a piece of the puzzle, but I want to sell you the entire puzzle. And if I give you a piece or even an incorrect piece of the puzzle, you're going to be sitting around trying to figure out where this piece fits into the puzzle, and it might not fit into the puzzle at all. And that's not good. So I want to actually, sell you the entire puzzle so you guys can actually see what it really takes to, live an active lifestyle, have an awesome body, like those kind of things, right? Because it's not just a diet thing. It's not just, how much can you bench? It's not that. Like, what supplements do you take? It's not that either. So when I have a question like this from Tyrone, says, what can you eat when you are burning fat? The truth is, if you're in a caloric deficit, your entire body's kind of shrinking, right? Everything's kind of shrinking. But if you keep one macro pretty consistent, and that is the protein macro, so 1 gram per protein per pound of body weight, then the stimulated muscle will stay in its position, hopefully, and then everything around it will kind of get eaten up. So that's the way I kind of look at it. But when I am burning fat, I burn fat all the time. That's the thing. I look at my weeks as, this is kind of how I do it, and I'll be honest with you. If I foresee an event, okay, like in the evening time typically, and that event might be a dinner with somebody, who knows what it is, a wedding thing. It could be a special event, like tomorrow there's Valentine's Day, for example. Like I know there are a lot of calories coming down on that kind of meal. I just know it. Or if a bunch of friends are going out, let's get drinks and dinner. There are a lot of calories coming down on that meal. So what I will do is I will purposely kind of lighten up my day until that moment so I can have a majority of my calories at that moment. So to answer more of your question, what can you eat when you're burning fat? When I'm burning fat like all the time, and I can eat a lot of different things. But if you do want to give your body the best shot and feel the best and start experiencing, lean living and stuff like that, then you're going to want to go into smarter food choices. You're going to want to really attack fiber-rich foods, the foods that are going to stop you from feeling hungry, but they're going to keep you feeling full. And they'll be full of nutrients, things like beans and legumes and lentils and things like that. Definitely look into those before you mess with rice or potatoes or something like that. Leafy greens, there's some fibrous fruits, for example. And you want to get into lean meats. You want to get into pasture-raised eggs. You want to get into organic tofu, organic tempeh, seitan, whatever it's called. And yeah, you want to get into smart fats like avocados and olive oil. Naturally found fats in things like sardines or salmon. And those are the kind of first things that you should be doing now, because you might not even need to get into these, like, what can I eat when you're burning fat? If you just curb your diet, you might start to realize that, wow, with just minimal working out and a good diet, it's making me look better just by doing this, So I can eat a lot of things while I'm burning fat is my answer to that question. And it's because I look at my days as how much energy expenditure is going to go on later on today. Am I going to get a ride in? What time do I project to go to sleep? Am I intermittent fasting today? Those kind of things. And that can dictate what I eat. But either way, I'm still always burning fat. So let me answer. There's a super chat that came down from my buddy Rake and Profit. This is Steve. I have known Steve now for probably 7 years. I've been in business with Steve for probably 6. But Rake and Profit says, Chris is the real deal. He's helped me so much over the years. I just want to say thank you. So thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. Steve is also one of the lucky few that actually has a Strela tank top. So that's pretty cool. Him and a guy named Mark Frazier and my brother are the only 4 people in America that have a Strela tank top. So that's pretty cool. And that will be for sale one day. What is the best way? It's funny because the Strela stuff is all just sitting in that closet over there. There's a whole bunch of it. And I just need to shoot it and put it on the website. Magsless. What is the best way to start an exercise program? Okay, so the best way to start anything is just to start, first of all. But what is the best way to start an exercise program? I think I know what this question means, and that is, I don't work out and I want to work out, so how do I start, right? If I can hear this correctly. And the answer to that question is pretty simple. You have to approach it from the notion of sustainability. If something is not sustainable, it's never going to be repeatable, and if it's not repeatable, you can never build a habit out of it. So it's very important, if you want to turn over a new leaf, that you do it for good. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to turn over a new leaf and then for the leaf to be returned over and then you get even bigger or more out of shape than you were. No one wants that. People, when they try to turn over a new leaf, they do it with the utmost intention, but the problem is sometimes they attack it in an unsustainable fashion, and that's not good. So to answer that question, what is the best way to start an exercise program? I would say you have to have a gym membership. Very important. If you're trying to start an exercise program and you're solo in your own like home gym, it's very hard to succeed. Why? Because when you go to a gym, a lot of things have happened. You've put on clothes purposely. You've maybe taken in a bunch of water. You've taken in some caffeine. You're doing these little steps, driving in a car. You're coming out of the car in a cold environment, back into a warm environment. Then you have to warm up. There are all these little small commitment of steps that you're taking to get to the final result, which is like, I'm finally here. I'm going to work out. I'm going to sweat it out. And then you feel great, and then you go home and you go, wow, like that was awesome. Now you have to repeat all that. And the more times you repeat all that, the stronger the habit becomes. It's very easy to break the habit if you're working out at home, because as soon as it gets kind of odd and cold, or you hear some noise coming out of the kitchen, off you go running to the kitchen and you're out of your home gym. And, just a million things can distract you when you're at home. It's so important to have a gym membership, even the cheapest one, Planet Fitness, whatever. But I'm going to add something to this question as part of my answer. I want to add an answer to this question, and that is, I want you to join a gym that has classes. I want you to join a gym that has a really good circuit. And what does that mean? So classes are run by instructors, and classes have people 10, 20, 30 deep. Some of those classes in the gym that I go to are 30 deep, and they're amazing. Like the yoga class I was in the other day seemed to be 30, maybe almost even 40 people. It's really hard to do a bad job or feel like you're not supposed to be there when there are 30 or 40 other people around you that are in the exact same boat, right? They're all just trying to get fit and feeling better about themselves. So I want you to join a gym that has classes that are led by instructors. Don't care if it's yoga, cycling, Pilates, Zumba, whatever. Get into some of those classes. That'll definitely kind of jumpstart you and help you meet other people that are fit. In addition, I alluded to the fact that you want to find a gym that has a good circuit. And a circuit is basically a row of machines that do need to be adjusted to your biomechanics or your body kind of, you're basically where your joints are and stuff. And, whenever you sit it down to something, you want to adjust the chair, you want to adjust the pads, but it should have a row of machines, and those row of machines are going to attack your legs, your midsection, your core, your glutes, your quad. I mean, just like everything down to the tricep, biceps, shoulders, chest press, flies. And there should be a row of these things, maybe 2 rows. Like my gym has like 3 rows of this stuff. And it's important to go through those circuits. And a circuit means you just do like 12 reps on each one. You just go down the circuit. Maybe do 2 circuits around every single machine, but the circuit will have you hitting every body part if you know how to line up the stuff correctly. That might be a time to get a personal trainer just to show you how to line up everything, so maybe get a trainer for a month or 2. And then after that, you'll be on your own. You can do the circuit. You can register on the app for all the courses that you want to do. And I think that's the best way to start an exercise program, is to really commit yourself to going to a gym. That's very important. Okay. Is it here's one from Chan Jing from the live feed. And that is, hi, is it possible to maintain muscle mass even by doing lesser volume? Okay, so lesser volume basically means lower rep sets typically. So if you can look at volume as, I'm going to do 3 sets of 15 today, right? So that's 45 reps, as opposed to someone that goes 3 sets of 5, right? Or yeah, something like that. So let's say someone that does 3 by 15 does 45 reps, and that's a little bit higher volume, so you can't do as much. And then there's someone that goes in there doing 5 by 5. And that is a little bit less, less reps, and you can press more weight. So is it possible to maintain muscle mass even by doing lesser volume? I think yes, but I think it all comes down to the muscular tension. So volume is great, but volume also takes longer to achieve, because in high volume workouts, they take longer. Second of all, you might deplete your glycogen stores all the way down. Who knows? I think a good workout is a mix of both, right? So the kind of ways that I structure my workouts is that on Monday and Fridays, I'm attacking very heavy, low rep kind of sets, or days, or low rep kind of days. My Mondays and Fridays are purposely far apart from each other, so there's a maximum amount of like recuperation. The Monday day is stacked right there as, you take a lot of calories in on the weekend, you have fun with your friends, boom, Monday, all those calories are ready to go in your body. So it's kind of purposely split far apart. So that way it gives you good rest. And the Monday day, which is the push day, which has low reps, you just go in there feeling good. Now, the 2 days that are in the middle, Tuesday and Thursday, are much higher rep days, like ridiculously high, very high volume days. And so those are the ones that I use to almost bring in the cuts and get full range of motion and stuff like that. So I think it's a mixture of both. Is it possible to maintain muscle mass even by doing lesser volume? If every one of my days was the smaller volume days, it'd be hard to get like full recuperation. I'm not going to lie. I think with proper muscular tension, if I did just a bunch of low rep days, I would get way huge. That's just my personal, I just know me and low reps and proper muscular tension applied correctly. And I know I would get huge. So I prevent myself from getting huge by having 2 middle days that are a little bit more high volume that can bring in the cuts and like burn a lot more calories than normal, hit the muscles from completely different angles, because a lot of times on the low rep stuff, you're doing more compound based movements and things like that. Whereas on the high rep days, you can do, things that really target specific muscle fibers in the region that you want to, work on, for example. Okay, so let me get another question here from Instagram. Ambu411, I'm 182 pounds. I go to the gym 4 times a week. 182 is great, by the way. I don't know how tall you are. If you're 7 feet tall and 182, it's not good. If you're 6 foot tall and 182, it's pretty cool. 5'10", 182, great. If you're 4'5" and 182, it's kind of weird. I say it as a joke, but I'm 182 pounds. I go to the gym 4 times a week. What's the best macros for weight loss? Okay. So I think anytime that you're dealing with a weight loss program, kind of 2 ways to attack it. One, not even a program. Just think about this when you think about weight loss, okay? One of the easiest ways to go, this is one of the things I found out the past 4 to 6 months, is that when you really clean up your diet, it's easy to lose weight. It's like super easy. In fact, the way I realized that, like night and day, was just becoming a vegan, right? Now, I'm not a vegan anymore. I'm like 98% a vegan. I eat eggs now, and every now and then I had ice cream the other day. So like I had milk, so I'm not a vegan. But I'm close to a vegan, right? And I still eat a lot of organic stuff, leafy greens, all that good stuff I talked about earlier. I eat all that stuff, and it makes me feel full quicker, like super fast, to where ordinarily on any other diet plan, I would keep eating and eating and eating. I would never feel like, oh, I'm not full yet, But on a vegan diet or a very close to a vegan diet, you feel full super fast. I started getting cut ridiculously fast. It was crazy. I had to stop it because I was losing strength, but that's because I was losing size. But I was just losing a lot. Like everything around my muscle would just tighten up. Like the cuts were just coming in, irregardless of the actual like plan I was on, the workout plan. So what is the best macros for a weight loss? Here's the real answer. besides what I just talked about. One is when you're doing a weight loss, I'm assuming that you want to still show good muscle. And that means you want to keep your protein number pretty high to ensure that the muscle is not being eaten by your body or anything like that. So 1 pound or 1.2 pounds of protein per pound of body weight is advised. And then after that, weight loss can occur with a simple deficit. And how do you do a deficit? You see how many calories that you eat in a day, and you basically burn over that amount of calories. So if you eat, around 2,400 calories a day, well, just make sure that you expend around 3,000 a day, or maybe 2,800. That's an easy way to lose weight slowly, right? If you are, let's say, how do I want to say this? All right. So if you are at 2,400 calories a day, let's say, for example, right? And you burn all the way up to 3,000. So you burn 600 extra calories. That's great. And if you keep that going for a week, that's 600 times 7 days. It's 4,200. It takes an excess of 3,500 calories to already take off 1 pound off your body, right? So I think a proper weight loss routine is something that decreases your weight by about 0.8 to maybe 1 pound a week. Like, that's sustainable. You won't get irritable. It's easy to ease into and ease out of when you want to finally gain back weight or bulk. Like, if you're losing 0.8 of a pound to a pound, I think that's about reasonable. And it's easy. It comes down to, there's so many ways you can attack it. You can heighten up your cardio and still eat the same, right? There's 600 calories overburned. You can do the same amount of stuff in your day, just reallocate smarter calories and just eat 600 less calories a day, for example. But that's a little harder to do. The best way to do it is to increase your to increase your cardio kind of stuff, like get on the stair stepper, maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes, see how many calories you burn right there, and then shorten out your food a little bit, maybe 200, maybe a couple pieces of bread you don't eat. And then now you're at a 500 deficit for the day. Repeat that times 7 days, you're at 3,500. That's exactly 1 pound right there. So you can do things like that, and it'll still be sustainable, and it'll still be okay with your lifestyle. But don't forget the protein number. Try to attack that number first. When it comes to the carbs and stuff like that, try to get beans and things that are high in fiber, so that way your body will trigger, and go, okay, I'm full, when it's just has like, if your stomach is like this blue mic right here, right? And you eat a bunch of beans and stuff like that, it might have only this many beans in there, right? Up to here, and it'll trigger and be like, full, done. Even though it's not full, there's still this much stomach left. It technically isn't. Now, if you eat these other less nutrient-dense foods and stuff like that, you'll never get that trigger until that thing's all the way up here. And now you got this entire stomach ball full of just these calories that you didn't need to eat in the first place, right? So that's the way that it kind of goes down, and it's sustainable. I mean, I've been doing it for many months. And just as of recently, I decided to mini bulk a little bit, because I was like, dude, this is like really working exceptionally well. And I didn't change really any other things in my life. I didn't. So like, it must have been the diet, must have been that. But if you want to see more about that, you can look at my Instagram and you kind of see what my physique looks like. Okay. Okay. So Glockstar says, is lactose dangerous? I think that's more of a question that a gastroenterologist should answer, not so much myself, but I can tell you that my gastroenterologist was like, majority of people in the USA should not be eating anything with gluten. And the majority of people in the USA have some intolerance to dairy and stuff like that. So they should really take those things out of their diet. So I took his advice and I kind of wiped all that stuff out. So I took his advice, wiped it all out, and I feel great. So like super good. Yeah. So he must have been telling me the truth, because I don't get lethargic anymore. I don't have bloating anymore. I don't use whey protein anymore. I don't use some of these things that he's just like, you should stop doing these things. And sure enough, my body tightened up. I had more energy and looked better, felt better. I don't know, man. But I think it's more of a question for a gastroenterologist. I just wanted to relay what mine told me. Lucky Duck Resale. Are you married? That is a real question I just got. So it's a complicated question. I am married, but I'm soon to be not married. Yes, we'll still be friends. So Photo Blonde says, advice for someone who never works out and is just starting from scratch. All right, so Photo Blonde, I know you in real life. Go back to the, I don't know, it's a question. 1, 2, or 3 in this broadcast, and I answer that question perfectly. Okay. What else we got here? There's another thing on Instagram. Let me get to my other post. So I did all this stuff on there. Give me 1 second, and I'll ask some in the live feed here in a second too. There it is. Okay. Hersa says, how many calories do you average on a daily basis? Okay. I do not calorie count. All right. So in the beginning of this broadcast, I kind of laid out how I do more intuitive based eating. I am very in tune with my protein number more than anything on a macro sense. And I try to get 80 to 120% of what I'm looking for. I weigh about 190 pounds, so I want 190 grams of protein, something like that. And, on a day that I don't hit it, I might get, 160. And on a day that I hit it, I might get, or more, I might get 200, in excess of 200. But I'm pretty cognizant of that one number. So the question is, how many calories do you average on a daily basis? I will have way more calories on a day that has riding involved or a workout like today. What do I average on a daily basis? It's somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 calories, I'm pretty sure. I don't count calories, so I couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure it's between 3,000 and 4,000, especially if I am riding a lot. Innocent Civilian 80, best way to approach diet, macros? No. I think macros is I think it's a surefire way to hate your life. Let's put it that way. I think the only macro that's important, I think, in a strength perspective is definitely the protein one, right? And of course, you're gonna need some carbs to perform if you're doing like endurance-based things. But I think the protein one's super important if you're looking for that like lean and mean physique. But the best way to approach diet, I think, is to intuitive eat and then understand that diet is one of maybe 5 or 10 things that you have to master to get a really good physique and to have a really good lifestyle and to feel great and to see kind of the world for what it has to offer you. I think a lot of people go through the world just with clouded kind of judgment, that clouded minds, and they feel like crap and can't think straight. And I can say that with some confidence because there were times in my life where I used to feel like that. I know people firsthand that I could visually see them being like that. And once they got fit, everything changed, So the best way to approach diet is to realize that diet is one of many things that you have to master to get an incredible physique. And it's not hard. That's the thing. When I say like master, it sounds like this daunting term where you start thinking like, oh, is that the thing with 10,000 hours and I won't have any proficiency unless I like do this all the time? Like, no, like when my products come out, you'll see that there's an underlying tone of what these 5 or 10 things are. And all you got to do is just do 90% well on all of them. That's pretty much it. My diet is not super tuned or anything like that, but I do have an unbreakable sense of, discipline when it comes to the gym. Like I can't remember the last time I really missed a workout. Like I have crazy discipline in the gym. I have a crazy amount of discipline when it comes to attaining the things that are the Strela, for example, like all that active stuff. I'm like so pumped up when I just spin the back wheel of my bike and I listen to it because I know like I like that one thing. I like the noise it makes and it makes me feel good because it's kind of expensive. Like it's neat and it actually does what it's supposed to do. It's better than the stock hub, for example. And I know this because I like that one thing. And I think people have lost the sense of caring about what it feels like to just play. Like when you were a little kid and you're playing war with your friends in the neighborhood, I have lived my life trying to really reverse that. Like, why did we all grow up so fast? Like, why are we growing up? Like, what is on the other side? Because the most important thing is to really just live, And when we were all kids, we used to always like to ride our bikes and stuff like that. Every kid, male, female, whatever, like we all like to ride bikes. That was just a lot of fun to do. It's a freeing kind of thing. Sometimes you get hurt, sometimes you don't, but you can cover ground and much faster than walking, for example. And it just feels good. And you're steering something. So you really feel like you're at the helm of something very powerful. And I think everyone needs to get back to those kind of feelings. So I like that feeling a lot. I just take it to the extreme and I go flying off things, and nearly hitting trees. And that just makes me feel good. But if I wasn't doing that, I would still be riding just around a pavement and stuff like that. I think it's very, very important to not leave those really core kind of happiness values that you had when you were a child, and to revisit those things when you're an adult and go, why did I leave that behind? Ask yourself, like, why am I? What is it? Is it because it's a cold day and I'm not riding? Like, go get a jacket. Is it because it's raining? Go get a raincoat. Is it because it's too hot? Wear a tank top, or just go in the late evening or go in the early morning. We build so many walls for ourselves, guys, that we basically imprison ourselves in this world that we didn't want in the first place. So as you see my products roll out, you'll see that there's these underlying tones that are really there to rewire your brain and to make you realize that it's entirely possible to really change your life and to do big things with it. So here is the last question. I think that is the last question. So if there are any more questions right here from the live feed, I would love to read them. Thanks again to Steve for the $10 donation. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Here's one from GEIS25. In your opinion, what is the downside of combining push and pull exercises, if any? Okay, so the downside to doing push-pull on the same day is that really what happens on the next day after that. When you're doing any push-pull, so let's say you're doing back, you're technically working out your biceps too. So like you kind of want a day of rest on the next day, like if you're doing push-pull, I'm trying to think of a traditional push-pull kind of like workout, because as you are a beginner kind of workout person, it's important to like really go hard at, knocking out a muscle. I think the best beginner program, I'm going to be honest with you, if you're looking to get if you're just a teenager or something like that, maybe you're in college and you just want to get some size and you want to get feeling good, I think a body part a day is a great workout program. Now, as you get older and as you put some time into the gym, it's important to, hit a muscle group twice a week, right? So it's twice stimulation. And, if you're a professional bodybuilder, sometimes you're at the 3 or the 4 range, 4 times stimulation a week. They do take drugs that help them recuperate super fast. But for an average person, I think 2 times a week is about the limit of what you want to really do. And that's because if you stack things correctly, you can get a chest worked out, let's say on Monday, and then revisit it on Thursday, right? You can get your hamstrings on a Tuesday, revisit the hamstrings on a Friday, for example. So you can do things like that. My workout programs have double stimulation worked into them. But the question really is, what's the downside of combining push and pull? When I do my programs, it's Monday push, Thursday push, Tuesday pull, Friday pull, on almost all of them. And there's so much a downside. I think you just get more recuperation on a program like the one I'm talking about. And so the downside is that you wouldn't necessarily get as much recuperation on a push-pull anything. Monday, chest and back, or Monday, chest and biceps. Tuesday, back and triceps, for example. The back doesn't get a good shot on a Tuesday if it worked out if your body worked out biceps on a Monday, for example. Biceps goes hand in hand with back, So push-pull is okay. I've done push-pull routines. I've gotten the best results out of more rest, and attacking it harder. So attacking harder, more rest is the way I like to do it. Of course, back and chest is one too. A lot of people do back and chest Monday, then I'll do maybe shoulders on a Tuesday, which if you're doing a chest on a Monday and you're doing shoulders on a Tuesday, that doesn't make any sense to me because your shoulders are involved in a lot of chest movements too. So it's almost like you're shortening your shoulder day. It's like, well, you're not giving it the best that it can get because you've already hit your chest on a Monday. Lots to think about, a lot of things to think about. Okay. I think that's pretty much the last question here. And he remarked with, thanks, and it makes sense. I've messed around with both. I was just curious. I love everything you do. Hey, thanks a lot, GEIS25. I do appreciate that. And that pretty much does the show. So I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. A little late night for me, but I know I promised it on my IG. So maybe we can do something like a Fitness Friday kind of thing, and maybe I can attack these more in the afternoon. But if that's sounds like something that you guys would be interested into, me doing a Fitness Friday Q&A 30-minute show, and potentially reading your question from Instagram, then I'll do it. I'll think about doing a show like that. But till then, thanks a lot. You can comment those things down below. Anything that you want a show of. I'm really trying to grow the channel. Then put it down below. Give me some ideas. Love you guys. And get in the gym, get fit, do some active stuff. And I will see you on the next broadcast. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.